You know what breaks me? It's not the big tragedies you see on the news. It's the quiet ones. The ones that happen in plain sight while the world just keeps moving. Let me tell you about Rita. Rita was 83 years old. She had silver hair that she always kept neat, glasses that sat crooked on her nose, and hands that trembled just a little when she reached for things. And every Tuesday night, around 7 p.m., she'd wheel herself into Joe's Diner on 5th Street. Now, Joe's wasn't fancy. Red vinyl booths, checkerboard floors, neon signs buzzing in the windows. The kind of place where the coffee's always hot and the pie's always fresh. But for Rita, it was more than a diner. It was the only place she wasn't alone. See, Rita's husband passed away 4 years ago. Her daughter lived 3 states away, busy with her own life. In Rita's small apartment, the one she'd lived in for 30 years, had become so quiet that sometimes she'd talk to herself just to hear a voice. So every Tuesday, she'd put on her nicest cardigan, wheel herself 6 blocks in the cold, and order the same thing, a cup of coffee and a slice of apple pie. And every Tuesday, the same young waitress would serve her. Her name was Emma. Emma was 24. She had that kind of smile that made you feel like everything was going to be okay, even when it wasn't. She wore a teal uniform with white trim, and her hair was always pulled back in a neat bun. She worked double shifts most days, saving every penny she could. Because Emma had a dream. She wanted to open a shelter for elderly people who had nowhere to go. People like Rita. But here's the thing about Emma, she didn't just serve coffee. She served kindness. Every Tuesday, she'd sit with Rita for a few minutes. She'd ask about her week. She'd listen, really listen, when Rita talked about her late husband, about the garden she used to keep, about the life she missed. And Rita, she lived for those few minutes. One Tuesday night, it was pouring rain. The kind of rain that soaks you to the bone. Emma looked out the window and saw Rita struggling to wheel herself up the ramp, her cardigan drenched, her hands shaking. Emma didn't hesitate. She grabbed an umbrella and ran outside. "Mrs. Rita, what are you doing out here in this weather?" Emma said, holding the umbrella over her. Rita looked up, rain dripping from her glasses. "I couldn't miss our Tuesday, dear." Emma's heart broke right there. She wheeled Rita inside, wrapped her in a warm blanket, and brought her the usual, coffee and apple pie. But this time, Emma didn't just sit for a few minutes. She sat for an hour. They talked about everything. About Rita's husband, who used to make her laugh until she cried. About Emma's dream of the shelter. About loneliness, and hope, and the small moments that make life worth living. And then Rita said something that would change everything. "Emma, honey," she said, her voice soft. "You've given me more than you know. You've made me feel seen. You've made me feel like I matter." Emma squeezed her hand. "You do matter, Mrs. Rita. More than you know." But here's what Emma didn't know, that was the last time she'd see Rita. The following Tuesday, Rita didn't come. Emma waited, her eyes on the door every few minutes. She told herself Rita was probably just tired. Maybe the weather was bad. Maybe she'd come next week. But deep down, she knew. 3 days later, Emma got a call from Rita's neighbor. Rita had passed away peacefully in her sleep. Emma couldn't breathe. She sat in the back of the diner and cried. Not the polite kind of crying, but the kind that shakes your whole body. Because she'd lost more than a customer. She'd lost a friend. But then, a week later, something happened. A lawyer showed up at the diner. He asked for Emma by name. "Miss Emma," he said, "I'm here on behalf of Rita Calloway." Emma's heart sank. She thought maybe there were final arrangements, something Rita needed help with. But then the lawyer pulled out an envelope. Inside was a letter. And a check. The letter was in Rita's shaky handwriting. It read, "Dear Emma, you probably don't realize what you've done for me. Every Tuesday, you made me feel alive again. You didn't just serve me coffee, you gave me hope. You reminded me that there are still good people in this world. I know about your dream, sweetheart. The shelter. The one for people like me. And I want to help you make it real. I don't have much, but what I do have, I want you to have. Use it to build that shelter. Fill it with people who need a friend, just like you were a friend to me. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for caring. With all my love, Rita." Emma's hands shook as she looked at the check. It was for $120,000, Rita's entire life savings. Emma broke down right there. She couldn't believe it. She didn't feel like she deserved it. All she'd done was be kind. All she'd done was listen. But that's the thing about kindness, isn't it? You never know how much it means to someone. You never know how one small act, one conversation, one smile, one moment of care, can change a life. Emma used that money to open the shelter. She called it Rita's Place. And every Tuesday night, she makes sure there's fresh coffee and apple pie for everyone there. Because that's what Rita would have wanted. See, the truth is this: we live in a world that's so busy, so loud, so distracted. We pass people every day who are invisible, who are lonely, who just need someone to see them. Rita taught Emma that, and Emma's teaching the rest of us. So here's my question for you: who's the Rita in your life? Who's the person you could sit with for 5 minutes? Who could use your kindness today? Because I promise you, it matters more than you know.